In my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
Welcome to the Daily O. I'm Sapphire Cervantes. Happy Monday, Cowboys. We all hope you enjoyed your weekend. Tonight at 5:30, OSU's Associated Press Sports Editors is hosting a writing panel tonight in room 104 in the Paul Miller Journalism Building. Some of the panelists include Tulsa World's Kelly Hines, the Oklahomans' Cameron Jordan, and Stillwater News Press's Jordan Bishop. Pizza will be provided. Are you a dog owner and want to show off your pooch off? Well, you'll have your chance tomorrow as the Student Union Activities Board is inviting all dog lovers to Strut Your Mutt Charity Dog Walk. The walk will take place at the Student Union Plaza at 7 p.m. All donations go to the Stillwater Humane Society. Yesterday, several Sri Lanka churches and hotels were shattered by gruesome bombings throughout the coast. A Colorado native was among those killed in Sunday's terror attacks in Sri Lanka. Dieter Kowalski worked for the education publishing company Pearson's. In a statement, Pearson's CEO says Kowalski just arrived at his hotel when he was killed in an explosion. Kowalski's brother also confirmed his death on Facebook, called what happened a tragic incident. The man behind movies like Boys in the Hood and Poetic Justice is in the intensive care unit. John Singleton suffered a stroke on Wednesday. According to a statement from his family, he's been under, quote, great medical care since Singleton received warm wishes from Hollywood's elites online, including Omar Epps and filmmaker Guillermo del Toro. He was the first African American nominated for an Academy Award for Best Director for Boys in the Hood in 1991. Here's something to light up your evening. While children across the country were hunting for eggs this weekend, a California fire department was helping out some little ducklings. A crew with the Alameda Country Fire Department posted this video on social media. The firefighters found 10 ducklings trapped in a storm drain in Union City Saturday. My bad. Of course, the heroes jumped in to help. The team took them from the drain one by one and placed them into a box. Their concerned mother stayed nearby to oversee the operation. After all of them were rescued, the ducklings were released into a nearby creek with their mother. Now we have Zach Kluver with the International Debrief on why some want Aung San Suu Kyi to return her Nobel Prize.
Aung San Suu Kyi was once jailed for her peaceful and heroic demonstrations against a dictatorial regime. Now, the very people and organizations that lauded her and compared her to Gandhi accuse her of participating in a genocide. Suu Kyi, the daughter of two revolutionary but very significant politicians within Myanmar, began much of her pro-democracy activism in the 80s. She led parades and protests until she was put under house arrest in 1989, set free and put under house arrest again due to her advocacy for a more democratic government. The international community, recognizing her sacrifices and support of nonviolent activism, bestowed upon her the Nobel Peace Prize, the Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought, and the Ambassador of Conscience Award from Amnesty International, and she even received an award from the Holocaust Museum. 2 of these 4 awards have now been withdrawn now that she holds significant political power. Suu Kyi would later achieve her goal of a democratic government in Myanmar, sort of. Although there are no longer military juntas completely controlling everything, the military still has a large amount of power through various measures. And in 2016, Suu Kyi would run for the equivalent of prime minister and win. But now that she is in power, she has helped cover up and ignore an ongoing genocide within Myanmar. The Rohingya people, minority people within Myanmar, have been historically oppressed for years. The UN recognizes them as one of the most persecuted minority groups in the world, and for good reason. Rohingya people living in Myanmar do not have citizenship, meaning they are literally not protected by the laws of the country. That lack of legal protection has been abused by Myanmar's military to do basically whatever they want to the Rohingya. Entire communities have been devastated with concentration camps, systemic murder, and forced relocation. Persecution within Myanmar has gotten so bad that nearly 1 million people have been estimated to have fled the country. Suu Kyi's role within this conflict has been that of an obstructionist, a denier, someone who refuses to acknowledge or even address an ongoing genocide.
We campaigned for many years for Aung San Suu Kyi's freedom, and we have been so shocked by the way that she has talked about this particular situation. She has described the Rohingya as lying. She said they burnt their own homes down. She's talked about fake rape. It has been one of the most disappointing experiences to see somebody who we had such faith in behave in this way.
Suu Kyi has consistently said that the violence against the Rohingya is exaggerated, has claimed Myanmar is only targeting militant groups, has refused to even call the Rohingya by their name in fear of lending them any sort of legitimacy. Meanwhile, satellite pictures showed whole towns burned down, and refugees continued to flee to Bangladesh in the hope of escaping the horrible fates of their neighbors. Suu Kyi fought for democracy. She fought for free speech, and against dictatorial military control of government. She fought for human rights. But now, she fights against the critics of legalized murder. She fights against the critics of declaring groups of people unpersons, and she fights against the critics of decimating and removing an ethnic group that has lived in Myanmar for over 1,000 years. Aung San Suu Kyi used to be a symbol of peace and nonviolence, but now, she is as bloody as a sword.
Thank you, Zach. When we come back, we have a psychology success story from Okali Creative. Stay tuned.
I'm a health psychologist, but I'd actually never heard of pediatric psychology until I needed one for myself and my family. My daughter Claire, just a month or 2 before her 3rd birthday, was diagnosed with cancer.
Shortly before my 3rd birthday, I was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, which is a relatively rare form of bone cancer. I endured around 11 months of chemotherapy and over a dozen surgeries, and then ended up getting a bone transplant to help alleviate the type of cancer in my leg.
What pediatric psychologists helped us with was adapting to all of those changes, learning how to deal with injections, multiple injections, taking pills, coping with the changes that come along with chemotherapy, changes to school and friends, and just generally coping with your life being turned upside down by a diagnosis of cancer. So the new Center for Pediatric Psychology is an awesome addition to our department and really recognizes a few decades of excellence in that area for our department.
The center is designed to really enhance our efforts in training future pediatric psychologists. So there's an educational branch to this. There's a research component such that Dr. Cheney and I have collaborated for many years working with kids and their families, kids who are facing cancer, sickle cell disease, cystic fibrosis, diabetes. We will be continuing to develop those collaborative efforts. But we're also going to push forward with seeking additional grant funding for the center. We also are going to continue to enhance our clinical efforts. Currently, our graduate students work at the OU Health Sciences Center in a number of clinics serving youth with various chronic health conditions, then hopefully spread as we can through the state and through the communities as we get additional resources to do that.
Well, now we're going to break. So when we come back, Cameron Bloom is going to get us caught up on everything that happened this weekend in sports.
Welcome back. I'm Cameron Bloom. Let's get caught up on everything sports. Let's start off with some baseball. Lainey Gerber has a scoop for us.
The Cowboys completed the series sweep against 19th-ranked Texas on Saturday in walk-off style. The 4,637 fans marked the third largest crowd in the history of Allie P. Reynolds Stadium, sending it off in its last season in style. It was a close game all night. Texas got on the board in the top of the first inning against OSU righty Brett Stanley on a 2-out, 2 RBI double by Zach Zubia. This marked the Longhorns' first lead of the entire series. Simpson answered in the bottom of the inning with a double that brought home Houston Morrill all the way from first to make the score 2-1, and the Cowboys tied things up at 2-2 in the third on an RBI by Carson McCusker. Jake Lyons came out of the bullpen for the Pokes with 2 runners already in scoring position with just 1 out. Lyons got a ground ball for the second out of the inning, but the Longhorns' lead grew to 5-3 as a run came in to score on the play. Once again, the Cowboys answered, this time in a big way. The Pokes rallied for 6 runs. Back-to-back 2 RBI hits by Navigato and McCusker snapped a 5-5 tie and gave the Cowboys a 9-5 lead. However, in the next inning, Texas put up 4 runs to tie it 9-9. Then in the top of the 9th, the Longhorns put up 1 more run to take a 10-9 lead. The Cowboys loaded the bases with just 1 out for Colin Simpson. A wild pitch allowed Seifert to come home with a tying run before Simpson worked his way to a walk. All of this set up Navigato to play hero for the Cowboys, and with the bases loaded, he delivered with a deep fly ball in center field to plate Morrill with the winning run. OSU improved to 25-13 overall and moved to the top of the Big 12 standings with a 10-5 conference record.
Baseball will be back in action as they host Oral Roberts tomorrow at Alley P at 6:05. Cowgirls softball had the weekend off, but will be back in action as they travel to Denton, Texas to face the North Texas Mean Green. First pitch is set for 6 p.m. Make sure to tune in this week as we will have a special guest to talk about spring football. The first round of the NBA playoffs is in full swing, and the Boston Celtics are the first team to make it to the second round after sweeping the Indiana Pacers. The Bucks and the Rockets are also looking to make it to the second round tonight as they both just need one more win in their series. The Raptors and 76ers will be playing tomorrow as they are also looking to make it to the second round with just one more win. The Warriors will be trying to eliminate the Clippers once and for all on Wednesday night in Oracle Arena. The Thunder are looking to stay alive in the playoffs against the Trailblazers tomorrow night. The Thunder have been struggling with their three-point shots and need a huge game tonight if they don't want to be sent home packing. Last night, the Boston Bruins beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2 to force a Game 7, which is tomorrow night. The San Jose Sharks beat the Vegas Golden Knights 2-1 in a double overtime thriller to force another Game 7 after being down 3-1 in the series. The goalie for the Sharks, Martin Jones, had 58 saves to put the Sharks in position for the comeback. Tonight, the Dallas Stars play the Nashville Predators, and the Stars have the lead of the series 3-2, and the Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. The Capitals lead that series 3-2 after beating the Hurricanes 6-0 on Saturday. Well, that's all for sports today, but before we take a break, let's take a look at the OSU sports schedule for this weekend.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Cause baby, I feel real good and I wish I would. Watch out now. It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Everybody watch out. Watch out now. I'm ready for a good time and I came to groove. The whole band's here and we came to a fresh haircut and 2 new shoes. We're here all night like we got nothing to lose. I'm coming out the jacket cause we're turning up the heat. I wanna see you clapping when you get up out your seat. It's time to make it happen when we hit these streets. I'm coming in hot and I can't be beat. Watch out now. Baby, watch out now.
Welcome back to the Daily O. Let's check out weather for this week. Let's take a look at weather for this week. Geez, what was that? I am tripping up on my words. It is a Monday. Well, today the weather was pretty nice outside, other than it being cloudy. It was a good old 75 degrees. Tomorrow it looks like it's going to be raining. I heard we had a flood watch tonight, so that is something to look out for. Wednesday it's going to be cloudy and 70 again. The sun comes back to us on Thursday with a high of 78. Friday 70, and then Saturday it's going to be a beautiful 87 degrees. All right, Cowboys, don't forget, today at 5:30, OSU's Associated Press sports editors is hosting a writers panel tonight in room 104, and bring your pooch out for a chance to show them off with the Student Union Activities Board tomorrow. And that's all for the newscast today. Y'all have a great day. I don't know what I just did.
In my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
Thank you.